If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. First of all, it's totally free. You heard me, it's free. What's better than that, right? Anchor also makes it easy by providing tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. How convenient is that? Plus, you can grow your brand because when hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on a variety of platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more listening platforms. Best of all, you can make money by growing your listening audience. Anchor has everything you need to make a podcast in one place. If you're ready to get started so that your voice can be heard, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Trevor. Wait, Daddy, are you making any money off of this?
Nah.
Understand the procedure now? Just stop a few of their machines and radios and telephones and lawnmowers. Throw them into darkness for a few hours and then sit back and watch the pattern.
And this pattern is always the same?
With few variations. They pick the most dangerous enemy they can find, and it's themselves. All we need to do is sit back and watch.
Then I take it this place, this Maple Street, is not unique.
By no means. Their world is full of Maple Streets. And we'll go from one to the other and let them destroy themselves. One to the other. One to the other. One to the other.
The tools of conquest do not necessarily come with bombs and explosions and fallout. There are weapons that are simply thoughts, attitudes, prejudices, to be found only in the minds of men. For the record, prejudices can kill, and suspicion can destroy, and a thoughtless, frightened search for a scapegoat has a fallout all of its own, for the children and the children yet unborn. And the pity of it is that these things cannot be confined to the Twilight Zone.
What's up, Straight Talk Society? This is your host, Trevor, and I am back with another episode of Straight Talk with Trevor, the podcast where no topic is off limits. So you just heard me open my show in a completely different way. Normally you'd hear the fantastic vocals from the Silent Assassin, but today I wanted to start it out a different way with the closing scene to one of my favorite episodes of one of my favorite all-time television series, The Twilight Zone. So the Twilight Zone, and this is no lie, the Twilight Zone has like 5 seasons. I think it totaled like 167 episodes, and I watched it 3 times, all 5 seasons. So yeah, to say that I love it is an understatement. And the writing was fantastic and everything like that. So the reason I play that though is because I want to do a special show today where we're going to review a particular episode. And that ending scene was from the episode The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. And when I get in contact with my guests, and you'll see why. So hold tight. We're going to go to the phone lines. I don't think this is going to be a long show, but it should be interesting because this will be the first time that I'm actually reviewing a show So I don't know how it's gonna turn out. I hope it turns out great, you know. But like I say, here at Straight Talk Society, we do things different. You know, I'm not afraid to broaden my horizons and try to do new things. So bear with me. Here we go.
Yo,
Hey,
what's going on?
you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
I was about to say, man, we live. He ain't gonna pick up. So on the phone, I got y'all's truly one of y'all favorites to the show, Zay.
What's going on, Straight Talk Society?
All right, so I just played the clip that I sent you. The last
Twilight Zone.
the last 2-minute episode. So this is gonna be something new tonight where we're actually gonna review a show and, you know, add our twist to it. And what even brought this on? So Michael, who's turning out to be one of the greatest one of the greatest panelists on the Straight Talk Society, everybody loves him. He made a comment in our last show where he said, what was he said, fuck humanity or fuck humans?
Something like that.
Yeah, so, you know, so we have a separate group.
Fuck humans.
Yeah, fuck humans. So, so we have a separate group, and then Zay hashtagged that, and I'm like, well, shit, I thought something was wrong. And then so I asked him, man, like, hey, what's going on? He was like, nah, I'm just voicing what Michael said. So I'm like, okay, cool. But then it made me think, and I was like, boy, you know what? You're right. Fuck humans. Humans humans don't add anything to this planet. So I was like,
Take a lot, though.
yeah, we're the only people on Earth. We're the only species that just take and don't give anything back. So I was like, you know what? I said, this might be an opening for a show. I said, it may work, it may not work. It may not, but who cares? So I asked Zay to watch my favorite show of all time, The Twilight Zone. And there was a specific episode that I wanted him to watch, and it's entitled The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. So you did watch that, correct?
Yeah, I did.
All right. So what was your just first quick thoughts about it?
It was just, to me, I looked at it like the aliens were playing the role of the government, and the people were just the people, and it just showed how they can just do a little thing here, a little thing there, and just cause division.
Oh yes, society. Oh yeah, Straight Talk Society. You getting your alien show tonight? you getting your long-awaited alien show. So I mean, just for the record, do you believe in aliens?
100%, 1,000%.
Yeah, me too. So the whole premise of this particular episode, and it was only like 30 minutes, real short watch. There was a street, Maple Street, you know, your regular community that you see on TV in the 60s. You know, milk delivery drivers, everybody's kids plays out in the street and all that shit. Everybody knows everybody's name. And then I forget what happened, but I think there was like a power outage.
Yeah, power went out.
And immediately, so as you heard in the clip, you heard one of the aliens say, all we have to do is take away some of their machines. All we got to do is, you know, take away their lawnmowers, take away their lights, and then they'll start turning on one another. And I just thought it was so fantastic because the big reveal was at the end that it was aliens actually controlling all this. Because at first you didn't really understand what was going on. So, and no surprise here, I do believe that there are aliens. I don't necessarily believe that aliens are controlling everything, but I do believe they play a major role in the way things function, if that makes sense.
And you know what stood out to me too? When he said, there are thousands of maple streets. Pretty much saying that like everywhere we go, it's the same shit.
Because let's think about this. We've joked around for years about the idea that maybe there's extraterrestrial beings. Like if you know anything about the Bible, people always talk about the Anunnaki and stuff like that they were like this civilization that created everything, and they're the ones that made the pyramids and this and that. I don't know, but there's just certain things that happen in life, and I'm just like, damn, boy, like like some people walking on this earth have to be not what they seem to be. I feel like we're going into Joe Rogan territory here.
Nah, I agree with you, and it's like some people I feel like just vibrate on like they live on different vibrations than others. You feel me? So it's like you got some people that's always negative, and I feel like vibrating on a lower frequency, and then you got some people who just like see things different. Like me, I don't fit in nowhere. You feel me? Because I see things way different than most people. But it's not nothing to like get upset about because somebody don't see shit my way. I just gotta like understand. We was having a conversation in the group chat, and y'all was saying something, and then I deciphered it a different way, and you was like, "Damn, you gotta remember, like people don't think like you." And it's a lot of times I have to like reel myself in and be like, "Okay, like maybe I'm going too deep, maybe I'm seeing shit like." I just gotta look at shit for the base, but that's not my natural way of thinking. You get what I'm saying?
So, are you saying right now on the Straight Talk Society that that you're an alien?
I might be. I don't, I'm not gonna say that, but I mean, I definitely don't fit in. You say like a lot of people aren't what they seem. Like I feel like if you was to judge my book by the cover and then get to know me, it'd be two different things. You get what I'm saying?
You know what's funny though, because when we think about aliens, we're always like, oh, these green things with these big ass eyes, and you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah,
like
you paint the picture of a monster.
yeah. We're when and I like the name of the episode is The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. There were just human beings.
Yeah, they were. Right.
But if you just tweak one thing, and it's like, and it goes to what Michael said when he said, fuck humans. We are so filled with hate. And then you listen to Rod Sterling at the end, and he was saying like our greatest threat isn't like bombs and all that shit, it's us.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
and I feel like the whole vision of green with big eyes and whatnot, like first of all, who's to say there could be multiple species of aliens, number one. Number two, it's like that whole picture, I feel like it's what the media gave to us. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then number three, there used to be this show that came on called Superhumans by Stan Lee, right?
I know what you're talking about.
It was people that had different abilities that just they didn't seem human. And so who's to say that they weren't aliens?
You know, a couple years ago, I refuse to believe in that type of stuff only because it just seemed too far-fetched to believe that there's something else out there. I'm like, come on, man, this big ass and infinite galaxy. You mean to tell me we're the only ones out here?
Right.
I'm starting to believe now that like we're just in this, like we're in this big ass game. Like we're in the Matrix, and there's something else watching us, like
a simulation theory.
Yeah, simulating things, and they're creating scenarios just to see how we pass, if we pass the test or not.
I heard a physicist saying, I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't know if you know what that is, but he was saying he's an astrophysicist, and he was saying how they say AI is eventually like the Terminator theory, how AI is going to take over, and like eventually we're going to evolve into AI, and AI is going to take over. And he was saying how like who's to say AI didn't take over already, and now it's running a simulation to see how it started, and we are the simulation.
Cause think and folks, we aren't high. Let me just tell you. At least I'm not. At least I'm not.
Nah,
Not yet.
I'm not.
So, okay. So you are you familiar with the like? Not, is it the metaverse or multiverse?
Metaverse,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like people live their lives inside of this metaverse. Like you don't understand. Everything that we do is basically controlled by the internet. So we're on the internet all the time to communicate with our relatives. We're on the internet to make purchases. We're on the internet to like call cars and to do this and do that. We're on the internet to shop. What if the internet is just like the internet is the puppet master? And
Could be.
because the internet is like pulling the strings and you know,
And we get a lot of information from the internet. So it's like, even with that being said, it's easy to put false information out there just to start some shit. You get what I'm saying?
And it goes back to the aliens now. So they're saying,
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
right.
like that's why I'm saying, man.
I see where you go at.
The Twilight Zone to me, and I've watched a complete series 3 times, all 5 episodes, all 5 seasons, 160 plus episodes 3 times, because it like when you're watching it now with 2022 eyes, you could see all the shit. Like you could say, man, like Rod Serling was ahead of his time. Like there's an episode where it's called like Beauty's in the Eye of the Beholder, where all these the normal people are like these pig-faced people, but they make the beautiful people feel like they're the ugly ones, and they cast them out into this into like this concentration camp almost. It's just, I mean, like if you ever get into watching the Twilight Zone, it'll just, man, it'll take you places you didn't even think you could go. But so these aliens are creating these scenarios, and it's like, if you look how easy some wars are started. A lot of wars are started just by a disagreement in your beliefs.
Yeah, that's true. But me personally, I feel like it's all about the military industrial complex, and like war makes a lot of money for a lot of people. So
Absolutely.
And you notice most of the places that we choose to go to war with are places that don't have a centralized banking system. So I feel like
which
that's
is connected to the internet.
right, exactly. So I feel like that's the main reason. And then the 3 presidents or the 2 presidents, I don't know if it's 2 or 3, but that tried to get rid of that decentralized the dollar, got assassinated. So is that a coincidence, or does it coincide?
So where does a supreme creator fit in all this?
That's a good question.
Because so here's my thing. I can't believe that a supreme creator would just sit back and let all this shit happen. I just saw in the news that the hurricane that hit the West Coast, they found someone hanging on a tree, like trying to cling on to the tree for dear life. People worked all their lives and build up all this shit, and then it's just taken away in one fell swoop by water.
Well, I mean, your favorite book is the Bible, right?
Yeah.
And so in that book, I mean, I know you don't take it literal, but like for people who take the Bible literal and then they say what you just said, I would say, didn't God do it in the Bible? with Sodom and Gomorrah and with the whole 40 days, 40 nights thing. So I mean, but you don't take it literal, so I don't really got no rebuttal for that.
But just think about just think about that. You know what I saw. You know what I saw today on my way home.
What's that?
I look out the corner of my eye, and I'm like, damn, that woman looks like she doesn't have any clothes on. There was a woman walking down the street, broad ass daylight, butt naked.
Was she like?
Like
Was she like a crackhead or something?
I mean, I would, and I hate to say this, I would hope so. You know, like I mean, just to be doing that, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's like how fucked up does the creator have to let this world be that you have some people in that type of situation where they're walking down the street butt ass naked? Like,
Yeah, I've seen it before too, like on two different occasions. One recently.
but this shit is this shit is weird though. Like you don't think like you ever, like I know we sit back and we think about a lot of stuff, man, and I'm just like, man, like what's the point of all this? You
I
know,
don't know. That's a good question.
like
That's a good question.
like what's the point of all this? You have some people have really good lives, then you have other people that just gets the shit end of the stick.
I feel like you gotta have both ends of the spectrum though, because if everybody had awesome lives, then what would be so awesome about it? You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have negativity to compare it to.
But then
I
you
feel
would,
like a lot of times you see bad shit to make you like it all has its own purpose. You get what I'm saying? Like when I see certain shit, it made me grateful for the situation that I'm in. Whereas like I could have been just complaining about my situation, and I run around, I walk outside, and I see her, or I see this guy in the wheelchair, or anything like that. Somebody picking cigarette butts up off the ground, and I'd be like, damn, you know what? My shit ain't that bad.
but then what do you feel for the person that's going through it?
I feel empathy, but I mean, a lot of times people choose their path.
But then what if they didn't?
I mean, I feel like, give me an example of someone who didn't choose a path.
Okay, so we're in most cases, I won't speak for you, but I'll speak, you know, in most cases, everybody's just a couple of paychecks away from being homeless.
Yep.
So what do you say to a person that works all their life? They do everything right. They do everything by the book. You know, their job closes down. Now they're out in the street.
But yeah, that's a good example. Shit, I don't know.
But then why would the grand designer allow that to happen? Like what? So my whole thing is like, what's the ultimate lesson? Because you know, in every fairy tale story, bad shit happens, but the prince always gets the princess.
Right.
The king always gets his kingdom back. Whatever.
In real life.
But in real life, some people go through shit and they just die. Never,
you know,
they just die, never seeing the other side.
shit like that is what made me ask you a question a while back when I was like, who's more selfish? The person that's trying to take themselves out, or the person that's telling them, oh, nah, don't do that. That's selfish of you. Stick around. It'll be better. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. And you telling this person it's going to get better, but you're not offering no solutions. You're just telling them, you just got to tough it out. Tough it out. It's like when it comes to abortions, it's my body, my choice. But then when it comes to suicide, it's like, don't do that. But like, what happened to my body, my choice?
All right, well, let's go there then.
For the record, I'm not suicidal. You feel me? So,
but you know, in a sick ass way, I get what you're saying, man. Like
right, because it's like it's selfish of you to tell that person to tough it out, but you're not going through what they're going through. You get what I'm saying?
You know, I've always been the guy that says, oh, you know, suicide is the coward's way out, and this and that, and a lot of times when I think about that, and I'm not ever telling anybody to commit suicide. No, that's never what I'm doing. But
Nah, me either.
it's like, you're right. We don't know. Like, because I think some people view it as, I'm dying anyway, so why prolong it? So,
Or I just can't take it no more.
but then us, we always look at it and be like, man, it can't be that bad, because if you fell on, let's just say, if you fell on hard times, you got family that you could turn to.
Right.
But then what about those people that don't have shit? They're all alone in this world, and they just like, and then it goes back, like how the hell could the creator sit there and see this scenario? And you know what? These are the questions nobody ever asks, because they always tell you, oh, don't question God and blah, 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 blah.
Exactly.
But how in the hell could the creator sit back and see this? This person wants their best, man. They want to have like the best life they can, but they're sitting there holding a fucking gun in their mouth because they don't see another option. And then some people, and then everybody says, oh, God's going to make a way. God's going to make a way. But then what happens when he doesn't make the way? I mean, and
it be the same people that be telling you it's not like, he ain't gonna put nothing more on you than you can bear. God gonna make a way. God gonna make a way. And then like, all right, so then is he gonna make a way through you? Oh, nah. I can't do nothing for you, but just be patient. Just be patient. Stick it out. And sometimes don't last. Some people do.
boy, when you're the one looking on the outside looking in, boy, you got every cliche in the world to give somebody going through. But it's just like, man, I often think of that, man. Like I just feel like we're in this ball, and so like the ending scene of the movie showed it panned out, and then you just see like this big glass ball, and you see these two men. They look like men. They were aliens, obviously, but they look like men just looking down, and they were like, hey, if we create this scenario, we can get them to react any way that they want. So one of the biggest tools, and I think this is where me and you disagree, one of the biggest tools used in this whole like why humans aren't shit is racism. What's your views on racism?
I feel like racism is, like you said, it's a tool used to divide, because they feel like the powers that be understand that if everyone was united, it's like together we stand, divided we fall. If everybody was united, then and just like the Constitution was made to keep the government in check, but instead of going against like seeking the truth from our government and demanding the truth from our government, or fighting for rights that they violate on a daily basis, it's like we would rather fight with each other. And I feel like they keep pumping fuel into that racism thing just to keep us divided. Some people say racism is over or is dead. I feel like they're just naive, or they just don't want to acknowledge it. You get what I'm saying? But it's very much alive and well. And the way I see it, it'll never go away. But me personally, I feel like in order to even make an impact, you got to start with yourself. You feel me? So you can't sit here and say, "Oh, it's like you can't be racist and still complain about racism." You get what I'm saying?
Okay, so that goes into my next question. Can black people be racist?
Absolutely, everybody can be. Everybody is to an extent.
How can we have this conversation all the time? How can black people be racist?
Like, all right, well, I'm not gonna say racist. I'm gonna say prejudice.
Okay, because I was about to say clear it up, because in order
black people can be prejudiced.
Yeah, because in order to be racist, you have to be able to affect someone's ability to do something, and we don't hold that type of power.
I look at it more so as like about how you treat people and how you think of people. So, for example, like when I was in school, we used to have like We used to just go up and swing on a random white person. You feel me?
You can say it. I know what you want to say the name of it.
No, like they used to call it Cracker Day, and you used to just go and swing on a random white person. You get what I'm saying? And when I really think about it, usually it was like the week that they made you watch Roots, because you know you always watch Roots once a year in middle school and shit. And I feel like that alone, like I feel like it's one thing to know our history, but it's like when they show you slavery, they only show you white people enslaving black people. You know what I'm saying?
But hold on, because I know where you're going next. But again, look what they just did. They showed you Roots. Create an uncomfortable environment and watch how the people react.
Watch how you gonna lash out. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Come on, man. Hey, boy, these friggin' aliens, boy, they know what they're doing.
So I feel like they use the I feel like the main reason they teach you so much about that at such an early age, it's not just about they want you to know your history, because if that's the case, then it's a lot of other positive shit you can show us along with the negative shit. But when it comes to specifically black history, it's like we get that 1 month to focus on the positive shit. But then like in just basic history, you learn about slavery and how we was oppressed by the white man. And so already they're creating that divide. And then like when you go home and you talk to your grandparents and they was alive during segregation, and you hear all these stories about like how they already don't like white people because this, that, or the third, or even if they don't say they don't like white people, they just tell you about the different situations they've been in. It makes you build a resentment. You get what I'm saying?
So what good has white people done throughout history?
I mean, I can't name nothing specific, but I mean, all right, I'm gonna just say this. I love animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know a lot about animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's none of us going to the jungle to like live with cats and gators and shit to see how they living. You feel me? I could say that. Like I feel like everybody brings their own. Everybody brings something to the table. I feel like?
Go ahead. Nah, go
ahead. What you gonna say?
No, because you know I'm not picking on you, but you know this is how our conversations always go. I asked you, what good have white people contributed throughout history? And the best you give me is that they go out and study the animals.
I don't know. I can't come up with like a good answer on the spot.
Which is great, because humans in general are animal lovers, but you didn't say, they help build this society, or they taught us how to do this, or they taught us how to do that. But then if I ask you what bad they did, we could go and say, oh, well, they raped and pillaged this nation. And
I can name I feel like bad always stands out more than good. So it's like if you ask me what bad anybody did, I could probably come up with something like, oh, this, that, and the third. You get what I'm saying?
But okay, so why is it that, God damn it, boy, we all over the place. So why is it why is it that so why is it that as a black person I'm not allowed, or I'm made to feel bad? And I'm not saying by you, but just in general, I'm made to feel bad for the way that I feel towards white people for their track record. I'm not just making it up. You know what I'm saying? It ain't shit that I'm just making up. I'm holding them to their record, and I'm like, well, hey, you guys are really fucked up. So now why is it that I had to be made to feel bad that the way I feel about them?
You shouldn't feel bad. You shouldn't feel bad about the way you feel, because how you feel is how you feel. But what I can say is, okay, so do you feel bad towards any other race that did something bad, or is it just focused solely on what white people did?
It's focused solely on white people because white people created the environment to make it happen.
See,
they
that's
provide
why I disagree.
they provide the canvas.
That's why I disagree because I feel like all right, prime example. Like I was gonna say about the slavery thing,
Hmm.
like it's not just that, oh, they went there and said they didn't create slavery, you feel me? Like the the Anjogi tribe, the tribe that they made the Woman King about, like they profited. Their biggest thing was the slave trade. You get what I'm saying? That's how they ate, the slave trade. They were one of many, and actually they did that until the British came over there and put a cease to it. Now I don't know. In my head, they put a cease to it because they wanted to do it. You get what I'm saying?
So
But
this is gonna
any
be really fucked up what I'm about to say, but was it was it indentured slavery or was it like chattel slavery?
it was chattel slavery, chattel slavery.
They were practicing chattel slavery?
Yeah, they were.
Huh.
Absolutely. You can look it up. And and they traded slaves for goods too, like because I know the other slavery is when it's to repay a debt. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, like either people voluntarily put themselves in slavery because they felt like they owed you a debt, or just like the prison system today, where your punishment would be slavery. But in chattel slavery, it's where like it's involuntary, and you can be sold and traded and treated like shit. And that was the type of slavery that they participated in. They were one of the major forces of chattel slavery. And the reason why they had the female army is because the men in that tribe, the mortality rate was crazy high because they were warring with other West African tribes, like the Oyo and whatnot. So, and that's where the whole Amazon thing came from, because when the British came over and seen these women, they called them Amazons. You get what I'm saying?
So and again, I know you personally, so I know your thinking habits and stuff like this. So this isn't you, but you're gonna have to bear the brunt of this one.
Okay.
So it's funny that every time I'm talking to a black person and I bring up any type of slavery and what white people did, they can always point back and say, well, black people did it too. Like, why is that?
Because I feel like it goes to holding ourselves accountable. Like until you stop pointing the finger. Nah, all right. Before I say this, let me say this. Like some things you have to give. Like when you put blame where it's deserved. You feel me? So it's like, yeah, I'm not justifying nothing that they did, because they definitely deserve the blame. They didn't get segregation from over there. You feel me? That was something they came up with on their own. When they came and fucked everything up for the Native Americans, that wasn't something they learned. That's something they did on their own. You get what I'm saying? But like a lot of times, people, it's more comfortable to point the finger than to point the thumb. You get what I'm saying? And so I feel like
I like that. I just did that. I like that.
yeah, so it's more comfortable to do that. So it's like, so when you say, you can reverse that, and you say, people, they always say, oh, well, we did it too. So was it okay for us to do it, but not okay for them to do it? Or is it equally fucked up?
And I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. So another talking point is always, well, you didn't experience it.
That's bullshit.
I mean, because think about how stupid that sounds. That they're
that
like,
sounds dumb as fuck.
they're like, oh, you didn't experience slavery. Yeah, I'd be like, well, you know what? But my grandparents did.
Right, exactly.
The generation isn't that far removed.
It's not. Yeah, like it was so long ago. It was only like 4 generations ago. It wasn't that long ago.
Bro, it was so funny. I saw, God, what's the sister's name? I think Ruby Bridges. That's her name. The young lady who that integrated that attended the white school. I think that's her name. I could be mistaken. I don't have my computer in front of me, but they showed the date of that, and that shit was like It was like 60 years ago. Like it was.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And I'm thinking, I'm like, my dad is 62.
Shit was like 2 people ago. You feel me?
Yeah, I'm like, what? I'm like, but that's what I'm saying. I'm like, so you don't want me to I don't have a right to complain about that.
And I will say this though, like another thing that was different between the way that white people did it. All right, so the one thing I can understand why people harp on that more is because it affected you personally more. You get what I'm saying? How in the previous episode, the same episode with Michael, how he was saying everything like slavery gave us fucked up eating habits, which is why one of the reasons why our mortality rate is so high. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of the things that they say is in our culture is because of the way that we were treated then, and it's some of that shit we still didn't break away from. Like people always complain, like, oh, like white people don't put no seasoning in their food, but meanwhile, like we got high blood
Yeah,
pressure
we the
and
ones.
shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
Eating chitlins and shit like that, pig's feet. Like they gave us our scraps, and they gave us their scraps, and we look at it still to this day like it's a delicacy. And I even noticed that just based off of like my girl is she's from up north, so it's like she didn't really experience or see racism, and she's not black, so it's like, but even white people see it. You feel me? Like even in their own homes, but it's like.
But she's not white either, though.
Right. But I'm saying so. But when she came, like she never knew what grits was till she came here. Like certain shit, like she just tried a pickled egg for the first time not too long ago. You get what I'm saying? Shit like that, and it's like it made me realize that that's because slavery was prevalent in the South, not in the North. So therefore, like the way we eat down South is mostly because of slavery. You feel me?
It's funny you say that. You mentioned about the food and stuff because I just had a conversation the other day with somebody, and I was like, man, I'm like, why do we eat this shit? And you could and it's like, and so it's like, oh, because black people are clever. They could take the scraps and make it so good. But I'm like, man, like that's not a good thing.
Nah, it's because we had to. And
but so again, so here they are, and I could always bring it back to this. So they're creating a couple. I'm not gonna say a couple uncomfortable because this is really fucked up. Slavery is really fucked up, but they're creating these stumbling blocks, and that was causing us to have a lifetime of hatred towards these people. And every time you want to give them the benefit of the doubt, every time you see another police shooting, it's 2022 and black men still getting lynched.
Hey, so let me ask you this. Who has more right to be upset, us or Native Americans?
Ooh, that's a good one. Honestly, I would say the Native Americans because they were here.
Right.
They got their shit taken.
And not just that, but they damn near extinct.
Yeah.
They put on reservations. Like imagine somebody come to your house and take your shit and say, okay, you can live in this room.
And so just so you guys know, that's why I always could talk to Zay on these type of conversations, because with me, my mind is set one way. My mind, like I got a one-track mind when it comes to stuff like this. Like the white man is the goddamn devil. That's that's my mindset. But it always says Zay to bring us back to reality and be like, boy, but we did this too, and so it's not that he's absolving them.
No, I'm not going to pass.
But he's also saying like, hold on.
That's trust me, like I think now, I have always thought this way when it comes to this subject. But like,
hello,
on certain things and just like
okay,
looking at like, when you get older, you look at shit different. And so I feel like if I can not like I give people the respect that's due until they give me a reason not to. So if I can like look at everyone as not as their color, but just see them for who they are as far as their personality and whatnot, it's like there are some white people that deserve to get put in that category as, man, fuck you, fuck this cracker. There are some black people that be like, man, this nigga ain't shit. You feel me? But and there's some Spanish people that be like, man, fuck this essay. But it's some of the same people and they're from the same different groups that you could look at and be like, damn, you know what? I fuck with you. This nigga like my brother right here. You feel me? Or this female like my sister right here. Like this is a good person. I don't necessarily look at like when it all boils down to there are some good people and there are some shitty people. And some people are just shitty. Some people ain't.
And for the record, my most major hurts and backstabs came from people that look like me, and I always
think that's because we put them on a pedestal, and that gives them the opportunity to stab us in the back.
I always say this too. I'm like, whenever I dealt with a white person, at least they let me know up front that I think I'm better than you. And if the opportunity comes where I can get over on you, I'm going to get over on you. It's been the people that look like me that says, I'll never betray you. I'll never leave your side. I'll never turn my back on you. But the minute they get the opportunity, boom. So I could always see things from both ends of the spectrum.
Even with like other races stick together way more than we do too. Like, I see that from two different sides of the spectrum. Because on one end, it's like, okay, like I try to support black businesses and whatnot. On the other end, it's like a lot of the black businesses will treat you like shit. Like, damn, I asked for a napkin and you got an attitude. Like, ain't food supposed to come with a napkin? Like, what the fuck?
But let me ask you something. You're an animal lover. So like if you put two pit bulls in the cage, what are they going to do to each other?
Depending on how they was raised.
Okay,
like,
that's even better. Okay, so they were raised being abused. They always got the shit end of the stick. They never got like top quality food. They were just given the scraps from the master's table.
Yeah, always survival.
Always
gonna go to war.
Always beaten. You get you see where I'm going? And then you lock them two motherfuckers up in the cage. And you don't think that they're gonna try to kill each other? We've been in
that's true.
Our environment, and you know nobody gets a pass with me. I ride on anybody. Don't nobody get a pass when it comes to me. But we've been put in an environment that our only defense is to always fight. The other people not growing up like that.
I get that, but as far as like we're smarter than pit bulls and shit, so I feel like even if I look at the environment as far as neighborhoods and whatnot, like we always talk about how our neighborhoods is fucked up and theirs is not, but we the ones fucking it up. True enough, it's set up for us to fail, but at the same time, it's like as long as you have that victim mentality of like, damn, like this ain't shit, I gotta try to like, I'm just on survival mode, like fuck him, I gotta get me, then we gonna continue to destroy it. Like I walk around the neighborhood and I see trash on the floor. You know what I'm saying? I go to their neighborhood, they don't throw their trash on the floor.
But why is there so few trash cans in our neighborhood? And I'm just playing why is there so few trash cans in our neighborhood? And I'm just playing devil's advocate here because
right. And that's a fact though. But that's a fact though.
In those other
park yesterday.
And you didn't see nothing. In those other neighborhoods, they got programs that give them money to put money back into the communities to to upkeep them and to bring them up to par. You know, in our neighborhoods, you know, let's bring it right home. You know, when our neighborhoods get money put into it, when they want to move the niggas out and make it more appealing to white people.
Yeah, I see it going on right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I say let's bring it right home. Look
right now.
Look at 6th Street. The closer you get to Federal Highway on 6th Street, looks like damn Las Olas now.
Yep. Once you pass Smitty's and get closer to the train tracks.
So why weren't they always doing that? Because they want to make it appealing more. Now they want to make it more appealing to their people now. If you drive down,
try to price us out.
Again, they're creating this environment that's now going to make the black people with money be like, boy, you know what? I got to keep what I have. Fuck them. I mean, they're going to have to get it, you know, they're going to have to get it how they live.
But see, like, what we should do is just like build each other up, man. I know this dude is a roster man. He got a little stand. It's almost like he do it on the weekends, but it's almost like a little convenience store. He's selling shit there, and it's like instead of going to the Arabs to go buy from their convenience store, why don't you go shop with him? But then it's like on the flip side, when you do go shop with him, don't try to haggle him, man. Like, give him what he asking for, because you don't do that when you go to the corner store.
When was you'd be a bad example, but when was the last time we bought black?
Yeah, that's the problem. And so it's like
let's just cut all the bullshit out. When was the last time we bought black? Because black people shit don't last long. And it ain't because we know black people got attitudes. Yeah, we know it. But it's not because the attitude all the time. It's because they don't have no damn support.
Right.
They don't have no support. We have been beaten down so much that we realize, boy, maybe the only way to get ahead is to keep our people down. And maybe just enough. Maybe if we kiss up to the other man just enough, he'll give us those scraps.
Because we start worrying about, like we don't want to, like, everybody think, man, I want to get out the hood. Nobody think, like, I want to raise the hood up and put it on a pedestal. You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
I moved back to the hood. I love my neighborhood. I want my neighborhood to strive. I want my neighbors to do better. I love the fact that we've been doing so many things to the house, and now it's prompting one of my neighbors to get his shit together. You know, I want better for my neighborhood, and it starts at home. It starts with us.
Yep, with the thumb.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, man, boy. Well, this was supposed to be about aliens, but in true straight talk with Trevor fashion, you know, I never could stick to one topic. We went way longer than I thought on this. We're already approaching the hour mark. So,
oh wow, that was quick.
Yeah, I know, right? You got anything you want to say before we close out?
That's it. Pretty much it, man. Everybody just like try to do better for yourself and project that shit outward, man. And that's pretty much it. Keep doing what you're doing. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, I always tell y'all, man, Zay is the one. You know, we have I like to say we have a secret society. We have a group, and it's like he's the level-headed one in the group. Because I'll be the one that's just like kill everybody, burn all this shit down, and he'll be the one like, you know what? Wait a minute, let's, you know what I mean? Like let's think about this. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like we balance each other out, man. So whenever I get a chance to talk to him, man, it's always a good time. So I appreciate you coming on.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
And by the way, fuck the Steelers.
I knew that was coming. That's all right. We'll see what's going on week 8.
Oh boy. All right, take it easy.
All right. Take it easy.
Cool. Yeah, man, it's always a good time talking to Zay, man, because he's, like I say, he exactly how you heard. He's not putting on. That's exactly how he is. Like, I'll be the one, like, man, fuck these people. We ain't kill these people. You know, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And he's always a level-headed one. He's always like, boy, you know what? No, let's look at it this way. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. Well, Straight Talk Society, I hope you enjoyed this episode, man. It started out one way and then it ended up going to another way. But I guess what you got out of it, we do believe in aliens. We do believe that we're in a matrix and, all that good stuff. Maybe next time we'll delve in deeper to it. But you know how these shows go. It always turns out we start one way and it always ends up another way. So I'm getting ready to get out of here because the Dolphins are getting ready to play. So I got to get ready. I got to get my game face on. Hopefully we could secure another win tonight and go to 4-0. But if not, we got 10 days off. So upcoming, I do have I'm supposed to be getting with Venkat hopefully this weekend, and we're gonna review Wrestle War 1992, the War Games match, Sting Squadron versus the Dangerous Alliance. That was one of the best War Games matches I've ever seen, and so me and him are gonna talk about it. I took like a whole bunch of notes last night on that, so I can't wait to do that episode. So no more words I gotta say. But as always, I leave you with these words. Always seek out the truth for yourself, because if not, you'll fall victim to other people's interpretations of them. And with that, I say peace.
If you can't get enough of Straight Talk with Trevor, be sure to like our Facebook page. You'll get page-only exclusives like links to early shows and behind-the-scenes video footage. You can also participate in polls that might shape future shows. The best thing about our Facebook page is that's where you can get in direct contact with Trevor. You can also leave show topics, reviews, or even request to be a guest on the show. Again, like us on Facebook, and thank you for your continued support.